Is it going? Yeah, it's going. Okay. So, another rant. Topic. I pretend I really need a better setup. Car designs. I think this one is kind of self-explanatory. I hate the direction that cars are going in now. Mainly in regards to taking old, well-established designs and then fucking them over and turning them into EVs. Some of you can already get an inkling of what I'm going at, is the Mustang. I fucking hate what they did to the Mustang, and I think Ford should be penalized for it, because the Mustang is a huge part of classic Americana muscle cars. Okay, two-door, big V8, honking car, right? Then they changed this shit into a fucking EV crossover, and it looks like dog shit. You can't give that thing the Mustang title. It doesn't deserve it. It shouldn't deserve it. Okay, I don't care if you're the company and it's your car. You've already made an image and a set look and a set perception in the public eye. You cannot just change it on a whim. Okay, especially with a car that's so beloved as the Mustang. Now, I'm not a big Mustang guy. I'm not a big Ford guy. Really, I am more of a Chevy guy, but that's neither here nor there. It's still, and Ford's not the only perpetrator here. A lot of car companies have been changing shit over the years to make their sedans and also SUVs. I hate SUVs. I feel they serve no real benefit, because you're taking some of the aspects of a sedan and weakening them, and then you're taking some of the aspects of a truck and weakening it. All right, I think the only three cars that should exist are sedans, minivans, and trucks. Right? I think crossovers and SUVs. Cargo vans are a different story. Those are like business vehicles. I mean commercial vehicles, like consumer products. I don't mean like, for a painting company. Of course, they're gonna have a cargo van. That's not what I mean. What I mean is, for the consumer, there should be only really three options, and that is sedan, minivan, and truck. Now, under the sedan umbrella is obviously going to be muscle cars. Those are just two-door, really good sedans. Horrible in gas mileage, but better in everything else. But crossovers and SUVs are really dumb, because they take a lot of the cons from both the sedan and the truck. So they take the con of the truck, which is the higher up, so means you have a higher chance of rolling if you get in an accident. That's also a pro, though, because you have more ground clearance, you can go over more terrain. So it's a pro and a con in one. They take one of the pros of the truck, the bigger cargo space. But it's fucked because it has to fit in this smaller size vehicle, so it's not as imposing as a truck. And because of that, the cargo space is shit. It's not useful enough cargo space to be actual cargo space, yet it's not small enough and convenient to be as quick and nimble as a sedan. It's stupid. Also, gas mileage. A sedan has amazing gas mileage. An SUV says, fuck that. We're going to take basically all the same use of a sedan and give it worse gas mileage and make it slightly higher off the ground. Okay, SUVs suck. I don't know why they're so popular. Like, almost every other car I see on the street is an SUV. And I don't get why. They're dumb. SUVs are dumb cars. If you want more cargo space and you want a higher vehicle, buy a goddamn truck. If you want a family vehicle with good gas mileage, get a fucking sedan. And if you want a family vehicle with actual usable cargo space, get a minivan. Okay? The SUV is stupid because it's not enough cargo space to be useful, all right? But it's not small and compact enough to be as nimble and space efficient as a sedan. It's stupid. It really is. So I don't know why people buy them so much. But over the recent years, we've seen designs go, slimmer and sleeker, but also fatter somehow. Roofs are taller, which looks really weird. Like, cars look bulbous now. Like, they look really bulbous. I don't get it. Well, I do in the sense of, it's meant for better airflow and to reduce drag. Great. It's a big hunk of metal. It's going to have drag. You can reduce it all you much, but I really don't think there's too much drag reduction between a 2010 Camry and a 2020 Camry. I think they have pretty close drag ratios, okay? If we're being honest here. But I like the look of the 2010 Camry a hell of a lot more. Because I get people want to go towards that futuristic look. But right now, with the technology we have, we can't get there. All right? We can't. I don't look at a car and be like, oh, that is a car. That is a weird bulbous hunk of metal that apparently moves like a car. I don't get it. Like, there's all these lines and all this other shit. It's weird looking. Headlights don't look correct. Another thing about headlights, LED headlights. Who the fuck approved LED headlights? It's great. You can see. I can't. The people in front of you can't see because they're getting blinded in the rear view, and the people behind you are bugged. Well, the people behind you, no, but the people in front of you can't see because the rear view, and the people coming at you can't see because they're coming at you. All right? Why? And, like, LED headlights are bad enough, but then you have fuckers who turn on their high beams constantly. I know people that do this to where second it hits night, they don't care, they're popping on their high beams. It's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You don't need that. You can see fine. I get it if you're on like a country road and there's no overhead lights, there's no house lights, nothing. I get turning on your high beams then. Makes sense. That's where you're supposed to turn them on. But if you're in a residential neighborhood, right, where every house has those middle of the driveway street lights, right, to where there's, well, not street lights, but like middle of the driveway lights. Damn near every house has them, right? At least where I live in the neighborhoods that I've been to, a lot of houses have those middle of the driveway lights, right? And almost everybody has theirs on. You can see plenty fine with those and your headlights. Especially Christmas time. Christmas time. Anybody with their high beams on during Christmas time is insane. Everybody has their Christmas lights going. They're bringing in all that light, plus your normal headlights. You do not need your high beams on. And yet I see people with their high beams on so much. And I have to remind the people that I'm driving with sometimes, where it's just like, hey, flip off your high beams. Well, either, I don't know if they don't realize that they're on, or if they just prefer them that way. I don't know. But it doesn't make sense to drive with high beams unless you're in those very risky situations to where you're in the backwoods, a deer might run out at any second, you gotta be able to see it, makes sense to have your high beams on. But I've seen fuckers to where, like, say you're coming over the hill, right? Somebody's coming this direction. They got their highs on. So you're coming over the hill, boom, you're blinded. And they don't turn them off when they see you. They keep them on because in their mind, I guess, they're thinking, oh, this is only going to be like a 2-second interaction. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Zoom, you're blind for a good amount of time behind the wheel because you just got blasted in the face with high beams that you weren't expecting. It's stupid. But high beams are one thing. High beams can be turned on and off and aren't that bad. LED headlights are always there and way stronger than the incandescents, and it pisses me off. I don't know how any highway safety or whatever the fuck council approved of LED headlights. I don't care that they're more power efficient, okay, and that they don't need changed as much, because I can't see, all right? It doesn't matter how nice the lights are. I can't see what I'm looking at because the LEDs in front of me are blinding, right? I'm driving down a standard road with two-way traffic, two lane, zoom, zoom, right? And these fuckers are going like 45 or whatever, and they got their LED lights, and you know they're LED lights because they got that blue tinge to them, and they're in a more modern looking car, so a shitty looking car, and it's just you just get hit with it. Like, how could they consciously, in good conscience, how could they willingly buy a vehicle with LED headlights? How? I don't want to buy a car with LED headlights. I don't care what you say. I don't care how much you turn them down to make them actually a reasonable headlight. I don't want to buy a car with LED headlights. Problem is, that's all it's going to be the future. You know, when I'm 60 years old, all the cars are going to be LED headlights except for the antiques. You know, antiques at that time, modern cars today. And it's going to be annoying as shit because I'm going to have to deal with those. Now, I suppose it makes more sense when you're older, because when you're older, you know, when you're older, it's hard to see, both in low light conditions and also when it comes to like reading and other shit like that. It's harder for you to see. So I can understand it to that sense. It would make more sense for older drivers. But the thing is, not everybody's an older driver. There's a lot of young drivers on the road. Too young, if I were to say anything. I think the U.S. gives out licenses a bit too early. I don't trust 16-year-old Melissa with her phone and Starbucks in her hand, driving her white Jeep to appropriately react to various situations. I don't trust that. I don't. It terrifies me, to be honest. And I don't know how anybody let teenagers drive. It baffles me. It truly does. I didn't get my license until I was 17, mainly because I didn't care. I had people that could drive me. Wasn't a big issue. My friends could drive. I didn't care. I didn't really care about getting my license because I didn't really need it. But I got when I was 17. And seeing some of the people that got their licenses before me, I'm like, you should have waited. You really should have waited because I don't trust you behind the wheel. I also already mentioned the stereotype of white Jeeps. Why the fuck would you buy a white Jeep? That is an off-roading vehicle that's going to get mud on it. Why would you buy it in white? Doesn't make sense. It's like one of the stupidest things. Now, if you're a Michigander, I get why. You fucks, for some reason, love to not clean your cars. I don't get it. Doesn't matter what make, model, the amount of muddied up pieces of shit I've seen in Michigan baffle me. Okay? I don't get it. I really don't. I've seen it like Mercuries. Cars that aren't made anymore. Like, I've seen, like, fucking maroon colored Mercuries covered up to the window in mud. I'm like, how? How does that happen? And why would you let it get like that? It's the weirdest shit. But every other car I see in Michigan is fucking muddy as shit. I don't get it. I get when it's like salty because they salt the roads a lot and there's basically no point to clean your car in the winter there because you're just going to get covered in salt 2 minutes after you get out of the wash. But the mud that I see, it's baffling. I don't get it. I really don't. I really, truly don't. But yeah, these young bitches that buy white Jeeps. One, why are you taking the Jeeps? You're not going to off-road with them. I know you. You're not. And you're not even buying the 4-door Jeeps so you can have all your friends. You're buying the 2-door Jeeps. I don't get it. Not to mention, it's a higher-up vehicle. You're more likely to roll in an accident. And it's not even that comfortable. The seats aren't that good. They don't have all the, like, modern accoutrement, like, nothing. I don't get why these bitches are getting Jeeps. Jeeps are, like, the worst car I could possibly think when I think young white female teenager. I can't think of a worse car to get them than a Jeep. You know. Obviously, there's trucks, cargo vans. um, shit like that. But why the fuck would they get Jeeps? And they're not even like, it's not even that they're cheap. Like, I've seen used Jeeps, and I'm not talking like I'm not talking about the Jeeps that are like SUV style Jeeps. I'm talking about the actual boxy Wrangler Jeeps. That's what I'm talking about. And those aren't cheap. I've seen them. They're not cheap for a used car. Especially for like a starter car. It really perplexes me why these bitches are getting Jeeps. Also, it's an American car, so repairs are going to kind of cost more. Not as bad as a European car, don't get me wrong. My sister got a Jetta, so yeah, repairs on that are bad. German engineering, you gotta love it. But I don't understand the fascination with the white Jeep and the white female teenager. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense. It truly doesn't. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know why. And I don't think I ever will. Now, speaking of young white females, why Starbucks? Why the fuck are so many of these bitches obsessed with Starbucks? It's not good coffee. Like, in terms of coffee, it is burnt to hell and back. So you're not getting coffee. Heck, I saw a Snapchat story by one of my friends that they were upset that their Starbucks coffee tasted like coffee. I'm not kidding. That was the thing. It was like a couple months back, but still. These bitches are going to Starbucks and ordering shit that has maybe a drop of coffee. Mind you, bad coffee because it's made at Starbucks and left on the burner for too long. So it burns. They are getting a drop of bad coffee in a cup filled with sugary syrup and whipped cream and chocolate sauce and saying, I love coffee. You don't. You like milkshakes with a hint of coffee. You don't like coffee. I don't like coffee. I find it too bitter. But that's okay. I at least admit that I don't like coffee. I like coffee flavored things. And I like coffee beans. I don't like coffee. Mainly because I don't like brewed drinks. I don't like tea either. I don't like tea or coffee. They just don't. It feels to me like weird water. It doesn't feel right, you know? And so the taste just throws me off. So I don't like them. But I don't get it. You don't like coffee. You like, oh shit. Okay, you don't like coffee. You don't like this. I don't get why Starbucks is so popular. It's not cheap. You can get equivalent milkshakes damn near anywhere else. You can make them at home yourself. It's crazy. Also, they're on every college campus. Like, it's crazy. There's one on my college campus. And weirdly enough, it's in the engineering building. Like, it's in the science building. Like, why is Starbucks there? I would expect Starbucks to be, if anything, towards the English department. Or the nursing department. That actually might be a Starbucks in the nursing building. Because that's a separate building. I don't know. But, I've never been in that building because I'm not a nurse. I'm neither Filipino, nor a desperate woman. So, I'm not a nurse. But yeah, it's, I probably will get flack for that comment, but I don't care. But yeah, I don't understand the fascination with Starbucks. I really don't. Because it's not good. In terms of coffee, it's not good. And I don't even like coffee, but I can tell bad coffee from good coffee. And I don't like coffee. So if I can tolerate it, that's good coffee. If it's disgusting as shit, that's bad coffee. I can at least tell by that metric. And Starbucks is bad coffee. Truly, it's bad coffee. And then they got all this other shit. Also, pumpkin spice. People don't understand pumpkin spice. And what I mean by that is, when you hear pumpkin spice, a lot of people think there's pumpkin in it. And now there is. There used to not be any pumpkin spice in pumpkin spice lattes, but now there is some element of pumpkin. You are not reading the middle word of it, or rather reading the second, pumpkin spice. It is spices used traditionally in pumpkin pie. It is not pumpkin. It is the spices used in pumpkin dishes. So when it's pumpkin spice, it's the spices. It's nutmeg, it's cloves, it's cinnamon, it's that shit. It's not pumpkin. But people just didn't fucking understand that. And so Starbucks is like, oh, son of a bitch, we gotta add pumpkin in this thing. And they add like a nanogram of pumpkin. Like they add enough pumpkin to where they can legally say, yeah, there's pumpkin in it. But they didn't have to do that if people just understood that pumpkin spice means the spices used in pumpkin dishes. But no, people didn't get that, and so yeah. And also, people think pumpkin tastes like pumpkin spice. It doesn't. Pumpkin tastes like shit. If you just bite a pumpkin, heck, even like cooked pumpkin, it doesn't taste good. Pumpkin tastes like shit. It's a gourd. Gourds taste bad. I don't get how people are confused by this. Like squash? Squash tastes like shit. And pumpkin is just a different type of squash, essentially. So pumpkin doesn't taste good. Yet people think, oh, pumpkin spice, pumpkin must taste great. Wrong. It's the spices that do the heavy lifting. I don't get it. I think that's enough for this one. I don't want to get an aneurysm from talking about fucking pumpkin spice lattes. I think that'd be a weird one. Also, it's not even in season. It's like May or whatever, and I'm talking about pumpkin spice lattes. So, yeah, I think that's it for this one. Plus, I've been going for like 22 minutes, so not the best time frame, I suppose. Yeah, leave your comments for more topics. Other than that, next one, I guess.